How's everybody doing? Nice to meet you guys. Absolutely.
Mike, welcome to Denver. Obviously, going from San Francisco, power style running. What do you feel like you're going to bring to the table here, specifically at right tackle with the Broncos?
Well, I think it's my job to be as good as I can be, no matter what the call is, no matter what the scheme is. We were pretty well versed in everything for my last 5 years, and hope to bring a lot of the same attitude and the same techniques, help everybody along, and be able to run the football. And it's always an offensive lineman's job first is to set the tone by running in the run game, and then convert on third down. And that's what this league's all about. And that's all I'm going to try and do to play my job at right tackle.
Kyle and Sean Payton are regarded as two offensive geniuses. Sean McVay, the owner, said that two guys that he steals from a lot are Kyle and Sean. What are the kind of similarities in their offense that Wagon and TP did?
Well, I think a lot of it's based in the old historic, West Coast stuff and the outside zone and the stretch game. A lot of that's similar. It's kind of funny. It feels like I'm a little bit in Rosetta Stone right now, just with the translations and different words and different calls. But there's only so many things you can do when there's 11 guys on the field. Until they change that rule, football is pretty much the same, regardless of what it's called. So. There's a lot of similarities. I'm not quite sure of how they call the route trees and all that kind of stuff, but certainly in the run game install, a lot of it's pretty similar. It's just about executing the techniques that are coached and using the little tweaks that different coaches have within their own scheme to make it work.
Mike, last season, Broncos gave up 63 sacks, 55, and Russell Wilson plays. Just what is the urgency to cut down on those sack numbers that they had last season?
Well, that's certainly. I'm not here to talk about last year or statistics of that last year, but certainly any offensive line's job is to keep the defensive lineman off the quarterback, and that's job 1A and 1B is to establish the run game, and 1B is to keep them off the quarterback.
Obviously, a couple of guys here had injury issues last year, but what have you just sort of made as a group? Because you could, there's a long way to go to September, but you could theoretically start guys that have all played multiple years, have a lot of experience.
Yeah, I think our unit is something to be really excited about. I think we have a lot of talent and a lot of guys that, like you said, have played football and have certain experiences. But there's also certain things that guys still need to grow, and I'm no stranger to that. Obviously, coming into a new offense, a new head coach, a new offensive line coach, things are different. So it's all about buying in, getting on the same page, and playing as one unit. And like I said, I think the skies can be the limit for our group. We have two guards that are as big and quick and powerful as probably anybody in the NFL. I certainly believe in the two tackles that we have here that we can be upper echelon and always playing to be the top in the league. And Lloyd is doing a great job so far too. He's a young guy, and at center position in the NFL is very difficult, especially when you have to identify a lot of different linebackers and different certain schemes and protections and all that stuff. And he's hung in there and done a great job so far. And certainly is a very, very great talent himself. So I think our group's the sky's the limit, and just being around them. Everybody's a workhorse. We love working together. We love coming into work and lifting weights, running with Dan Dalrymple and his staff. And the first 7 or 8 weeks that I've been here, I'm very excited about our group and the attitude that we have, and certainly the football will come.
Like how much you mentioned the new offensive line coach. Zach Streif obviously played position for Sean for a long time. What's just been your first impression? How much do you think you can benefit from that fact that he's kind of?
Well, I think it's huge for me. I think and our group. But like you said, Zach was the right tackle for Sean Payton for 12 years and a Super Bowl run and a lot of success on an offensive side of the ball. So certainly something that's incredibly valuable to me to have a position coach that literally stood in my shoes. And I think it's really a cool thing when you get to have a player, especially a former player as your coach, but especially one that's pretty recent, right? So it's not such black and white. It's not such, here's how to do it. There's certain different tools that he's going to pull in that he can see, and through his experience can definitely teach on how to go and get better from those things. I think Zach is going to be great for us. He's already been great. I was so excited to come here and play for Zach, especially. And I think we're going to have a great relationship. And on top of it, he and Austin King are both phenomenal guys too. So it makes it easy coming to work and growing.
You mentioned Dan Dalrymple running. What have been your impressions of the football offseason? emphasis on running and lifting compared to maybe getting that classroom work in and learning the scheme that other teams do?
Well, I think it's huge, right? I think it's old school. Like you said, I think when certain coaches or any coach sees an opportunity to do football, they try and do it as much as possible because, it is our job. You need to learn your scheme. You need to be on your technique, and you need to be on your assignment. But if you can't learn the playbook and if you can't understand how football works, it makes it really hard to even have a job in this league. And I think so that should be that's kind of the baseline, just being able to understand football. And all of us have seen it enough to where this time of the year should be dedicated to strength and conditioning and becoming a better athlete and using this downtime to grow yourself, to prepare yourself for training camp and let football take over then, because you're going to have 10-ish opportunities to get a full install from here till the end of August. So you're going to see the playbook over and over and over again, but you don't get that time to be polishing yourself in the weight room or in the field work or running or getting in conditioning. And I think I've really appreciated Sean's take on that. I think it's huge as a player to get that confidence because it all builds from the weight room. Everything starts there. And I think the confidence that builds and getting in shape and getting stronger and having that allotted time to make sure that that's in the right place, I think is an incredibly valuable part as a player and something that I think can be overlooked a lot in this league.
Looking at your size and knowing your background with basketball, when did you, basketball is more fun than hockey generally.
It depends on who you are.
When did you decide to make the transition full-time to right tackle football?
Based off of the caliber of schools that were coming after me for football and versus the ones that were coming after me for basketball. No, football was the game that I loved. It was my family's game. I have a lot of relatives that have played, and certainly a couple relatives that have played at a really high level. And it was always the thing that I wanted to do. And I played tight end mostly throughout high school. But when I started getting recruited, every school made it abundantly clear that I was going to have my hand in the dirt and blocking people. So it made it really easy for me to transition because the decision was pretty much made for me.
You alluded to your cousin Matt Ryan, right? Who's obviously one of those. So he's stepping away from the game and he's going to be an analyst now. What kind of analyst do you think he'll be? And what did you learn, as a kid watching him and as you come into the league?
Well, I think I've said this before, but Matt's been my football hero since I can remember. He went to Boston College, I think, in 2003, which I was probably 8 or 9 years old, which is like the perfect time for a young kid to start following somebody and having a reason to follow people. And my cousin Matt has done things his whole career, obviously at an excellent level of playing football. But the things that I took from Matt, obviously, because I play offensive line, I don't play quarterback, but the way that he conducted himself, the class that he always exhibited, every step of the way, and the coolest part for me is that I shared coaches with Matt over the last couple of years in the NFL, and the stories that they had. The first things that they say about him is what a guy he is, what a leader he is, and how tough he is, and those are the things that I think our grandfather tried to instill in all of his grandchildren early, and certainly our two mothers were tough on us for sure. But no, Matt has been incredibly helpful, whether it's a direct lesson that he shared verbally or watched football with me or, just me watching from afar. I remember sitting in high school and college and watching every press conference and every game that he ever played. And he is second to none, in my opinion, and I hope the league recognizes him with a gold jacket someday.
You got time for a couple more?
It is a quarterback-driven league.
That's the only thing that matters. We only play this game to win a Super Bowl, and to have that moment in our life that we can always look back from. No one can take that away from you. And I was close a couple times. I went to 3 title games, 7 minutes away from winning one. And that's the only thing that motivates you to get back. This team is capable of that. We have a head coach that has been there and done that. And I think everybody's chomping at the bit to be able to turn this franchise around and start winning games for Denver.
It is a quarterback-driven league, and you played against Russell in this
San Francisco, you did it a variety of ways without the basic quarterback. What are your impressions of Russell?
Well, like you said, for the longest time, I really couldn't stand Russell because of how many times he beat us. But to be in the locker room with him and to share and to be able to be in the huddle with him now has been awesome. I think Russ is, first and foremost, he's a workhorse. There's nobody in the building that works harder than him. He's addicted to this game and is addicted to trying to be great. And that rubs off on a lot of people. And there's a reason that he's had the success in this league that he's had. And I'm excited for what we can all do together because I think with Coach, with us, with the talent that we have on this team, I think we have a really good shot to help Russ get to even higher heights than he's been.
Mike, you mentioned, you've been to the Super Bowl, you mentioned Russell Wilson, he's one that Sean Payton has. How important is it to have those guys on the team that are won Super Bowl, or at least been to Super Bowls with that team?
I think it's huge. I think experience matters. I think putting yourself in the moments or putting yourself in the biggest moments and experiencing those biggest moments and what the emotions feel like and what it takes to get there is certainly something that's incredibly valuable. I think having that championship pedigree just, trickles down to everybody else. I think there's a blueprint to how to have success in this league, and I think the two of them have certainly found it. And I believe that I have as well. And I came from a place with a lot of winning, and can't wait to start doing that trend here.
Mike, thank you.
Thanks, guys.